friends, I'm Amy and this is A-Star Reads, and it is time for an announcement. A very big 2025 bookStara read-along announcement, which I'm very, very excited about. Actually, I'm kind of surprised about because we're already announcing the books we're reading, the series that we'll be reading in 2025 for bookStara. It has flown by. It has absolutely flown by, and this year was a really good year. It's been an interesting year. We had a lot of success with the Greenbone Saga at the beginning of this year, and then with the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, it's been a little hit or miss, and this last book is going to be the most exciting conversation, I think, because that is very polarizing. So I'm very excited that we had a successful 2024, and I'm really looking forward to 2025. I'm so excited about what we're going to be reading next year. Before I get into that, I want to let you know that bookStara Readalongs is a read-along group that was created by Danielle from bookStara and I, Amy from A-Star Reads, and then our wonderful friend Paige from Pages with Paige joined us in the following year because she was just such a great participant the first year, and now it's the three of us, and we've been doing this for a while now. How many years now? This is like our fourth or fifth year going into bookStara Readalongs. It's just wonderful. We have a beautiful community. We have a great Discord where we're very active in it, especially when we're reading the actual books. So please check the description box for the links for Danielle's channel, Paige's channel, and everything you need to know about bookStara Readalongs. Use those links and join us for 2025 because we're going to be reading two exciting series. The first one is a fantasy series, and that is the Foundry Trilogy. We're going to be reading Foundryside, Shorefall, and Locklands. And these were wonderful gifts given to me by my friend Leanna, and it was just such a great surprise. And this is one of my 45 before 45 books, this book, Foundryside. So I'm really excited to finally get to this series. And I think we're all equally excited about this one because it just sounds interesting and it gets such good reviews, and they're beautiful books. Like, these books are just stunning. So from what I can gather, brief synopsis, this is about Sansia, who is a thief, and Sansia has been hired to steal this artifact, but this artifact has this unimaginable power that can change everything, and it can cause transformations to people and things that really can alter all of society. And so it's a really big deal that she's trying to steal this, and people are trying to kill her because she's trying to steal it. So she needs to create alliances and get together with people who she wouldn't normally get together with to be able to keep safe. And I don't know what else. I don't know. We're going to find out together. So this will be the first series we work on in 2025. And the way it's going to work is that in January, we will be reading Foundryside. And the way we typically do our readathons is that halfway through the month, we do some reading sprints on whosever channel is the leader of that month. We take turns. And so in January, one of the three of us will host reading sprints halfway through the month. And then at the end of the month, or at the beginning of the next month, sometimes we have to go into the next month, that same host will host a live show discussion where we will talk all about these books. It's very spoilery. But in the meantime, while you're reading it within the month of January, we have a Discord where we have channels for, depending on how many chapters there are, usually the channels cover anywhere from 2 to 4 chapters within the book, so that as you're reading along, you can have these little stop points where you stop and you reflect on the book. You can see what other people are saying at that same point and share your thoughts. It's really successful. It's really fun to be able, well, it works for me really well to be able to stop once I hit that chapter, go onto Discord, discuss the book a little bit so far, and then move on to the next section. And it doesn't necessarily work that same way for everybody, but it works for me. And I think that it's just a fun place where we get to talk about these books together before we actually have the live show. So please, if you can, join the Discord because we do talk about the books quite a bit. And in the Discord, we have one channel that's like a spoiler-free, just general book channel that's for each specific book. But then all the chapter channels are all spoilery. You can add spoilers. You don't have to use spoiler brackets or anything. It's just that, you know, if you don't want to be spoiled, you need to make sure you mute those channels. Anyways, I'm just saying that you don't have to join on Discord to be able to enjoy the readathon and enjoy the live shows at the end of the month, but it helps. It does help. And we have a great community over there. So it's a fun place to be. January, we're reading Foundryside. And then because we skip every other month, in the month of March, we'll be reading Shorefall. That's really pretty too. And then finally, we'll be skipping April. In the month of May, we'll be reading Locklands. and that'll be the final book that we need to read for this series because it is a trilogy, the Founders Trilogy. So hopefully this isn't a series you've read yet and you're looking forward to reading it and you'll be able to join us. The second series is something a little different. I don't think we've had a romance series on bookStara before, which will be fun. And a lot of our bookStara people have actually chosen this series out of two options. So we had two options, we put it to a vote on the Discord server, and this was the option that won, and that is the Part of Your World series by Abby Jimenez. I know a lot of people have already read this series, but you are always welcome to join us for the discussion, for the conversations in Discord, even if you've already read the books. And it may be a good time to do a reread. Or if you haven't finished the series, like you haven't read the other two books in the series, come join us for those ones, or even the final book. Like, you can join us at any point for any of the books within these series. Okay, so in July, we will be reading Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and this first book, Alexis, the woman who has her life really together, maybe a little high strung, she ends up meeting this guy who's 10 years younger than her, who is the complete opposite of her, and it throws her through a loop. It's just not what she was expecting, and it sounds like it's gonna be fun. I heard that this series is actually a little more deep than just a regular romance series. Like, Abby Jimenez brings up some tougher topics in her books, is what I've heard. So I'm looking forward to finding out what this is all about. Then in September, we're gonna be reading Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and this is about Dr. Brianna Ortiz. She's having a lot of big things happen in her life. And one of the things that is the worst thing that's happening in her life is this other doctor that has just come to work where she's working, and he's just blowing things away. She basically thinks he's a pain in her ass, and something happens. He sends her a letter that changes her whole perspective on him, on this annoying doctor who's coming and taking over everything. She changes her feelings about him. And so I imagine it'll be fun to see how her opinions shift and this whole enemies to lovers sort of thing. Like, well, maybe he doesn't think of her as an enemy, but she definitely thinks of him as an enemy. So it's kind of enemies to lovers a little bit. And then in November, our final book of 2025 is going to be Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. The synopsis sounds the most fun and interesting to me, and it's about this guy named Justin who has this curse that every time he dates someone, they go on to find their soulmate after him, and it gets out on the internet, this information, and this woman sends him a DM and says, same thing happens to me. So let's date this summer, and then after we break up, we will both go off to find our soulmates and we'll break this curse. And it sounds so cute. It sounds so fun. So those are our 6 books we'll be reading in 2025. 2 series we're going to complete, the Founders Trilogy and the Part of Your World trilogy by Abby Jimenez. I cannot wait for us to all read these books and laugh, cry, be angry, want to throw our books, whatever we feel like doing. This year, there have been moments of wanting to throw books. So maybe next year, somebody will get really mad and want to throw their book. It makes it a lot more interesting when it comes to the conversations. We welcome all thoughts, as long as they're respectful. Let me know in the comment section down below if you've read these books, what you thought about them, if you're thinking about joining us for one series versus the other. Maybe you'll join us for both. I'd love to hear all your thoughts and comments, and I hope that you're just as excited as we are about these choices for 2025. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you can see what happens next year in 2025 when we start reading these 2 series together. Thank you so much for watching. See you later.